Good afternoon all, fingers crossed. We've made it. We've been having a few hiccups this week with the system that we use to do these videos, to link everything together. So we get an email yesterday saying that the connection between Facebook and them, there has been a slight problem. So hopefully we've connected through to Facebook. It's saying on here that we have, so if you are there, please comment and let me know. Again, fingers crossed the comments will come through and we've cracked that bit. Who knows? Yay! It's all working. Yeah, so it's been a bit stressful today because you know when you get in your head what you think you're going to make? We all have these moments, even us that do this for everybody else. And then when you go to do it, good afternoon, Teresa. It doesn't quite go to plan. So if I just said to you about 5 minutes ago I still didn't have any makeup on my face, we'll take a deep breath and enjoy what we're going to do now. So hopefully lots of you can join us. If you are having problems connecting through to Facebook, or if somebody says to you through chat or whatever, because obviously you're not going to know that you're having problems connecting, there is a link on our Facebook page that will take you to the YouTube channel to be able to watch. Hi Sarah, hope you're enjoying your lunch. So I think my problem today was I was desperately trying to use different colours, and sometimes that just doesn't work for people, and today it was just not going to work for me. I've had 4 different colours on this one. Hi Anne. Now it appears that YouTube isn't commenting, so if anybody's watching on YouTube, please let me know that you're there. You're knitting in the car again. Good for you, Anne. Put the knitting down and watch this one. Right, so today we are going back for blues. So let's have a quick look at what we've got here. Let me just get rid of that. Right, so we are going back to some of our older sets of stamps, which we've all got, and we're all really good at getting the new ones and not going back and playing with our older ones as well. So as lovely as it is to get all the new stuff in, which of course we like you to do, it's also nice to remember what you've got in your stash. Hi Tracy. So we are going to be using Spring Flowers, which is such a cute little stamp. I really enjoy playing with this one. And then we're just going to use the sentiment out of this set, which was our Say Hello set. We may come back to that next week or the week after. So we are using Faded Jeans definitely, Twisted Citron definitely, and we may bring in the Chipped Sapphire. I've done it with Chipped Sapphire when I do my prep work for it, but I'm not sure if I'm loving it. We might just stick with just the one colour. So we'll see when we get there. Hi Marie, yes, so YouTube is working too. That's great news. So they're the 3 colours we're using. We are obviously using our Vellum that we have for flower making. Hi Di. And we've got our white cardstock in 250 and 300 GSM. We're using white embossing powder, Versamark ink, blending brushes that we have in the 2 sizes, still both sizes in stock. Oh, I'm glad everything's arrived, Tracy. And then obviously our sticky glue, anti-static bag, and our trusty kebab stick. So I'm just going to pop some of this out of the way so that we can get started. Where's the best place to put all this? I still haven't found that place to put everything so that I can grab it afterwards and so that you all can see what we have actually used. But ooh, that was nearly a collapse there. Did you see me move quick? No, you didn't. But I did. Anyway, I digress. So we're doing an 8x8 card. And we have got white cardstock in 7 3/4 inch and in 7.5 inch. And then if you're using A4, when you've cut your 7.5 inch, you have that bit left off at the end. Keep that piece, just cut the length down to 7.5 inches as well, so it matches the same size as your smaller piece. So you're on both, Maria. Thank the Lord. Motorcycle Museum on Saturday. I know, Di, that's an early start for us. Martin dreads that one. I actually quite like it, which is a bit weird, isn't it? I don't normally like getting up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, but I do. I love that show, so I think that probably makes a difference for me. Right, so bear with me, ladies and gents. I'm just scooting that chair out of the way because I can't do this sitting down. Right, so let's get started. So we need this piece, which is the small piece that's cut off. And so everybody's watching on both. And our larger piece. So I'm going to take my faded jeans and my blending brush. I've had it all, you know, because I also ran out of wet wipes today. I actually ran out of them last week and completely forgot to get some new ones. So all I'm doing with this one, this is literally a matting and layering layer. So I've just taken the blending brush and I'm just going to pop some blue all the way around the edge. Now you don't have to press very hard. This is just to kind of tie everything in together. It's literally a layer. It's not going to be anything special. You do need to try and keep your other piece of white as you can. So be careful with your inking. Now I've done one with the 2 colours, so I'm going to do this one just in the 1 colour and we'll compare it and see what we like better. So this is just faded jeans and I'm just going to go in and change my white piece of cardstock to a nice, hopefully a nice blue. I'm going to get myself a piece of kitchen paper because I don't want to be marking this too much. So to hold it in place I'm just going to use a piece of kitchen paper. Didn't want to do what I just did there. That was really silly. So we might end up, you know what, I'm not even going to do that. We're going to start again. See, you can see what kind of day I'm having. We all have them. So this is the 250 GSM, but if you want to do it on 300 or any other weight cardstock that you have, just use what you are comfortable with. So we're literally just changing this piece of card from a white piece to a coloured piece. And as I say, I've already got another one done that I did while I was prepping with the 2 colours. So we'll see which one we like better when this all gets put together. I'm doing this piece of the messy bit first, so then by the time we get to doing the white work, it will stay white, we hope. This doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be completely covered. It can be however you want it to be. Remember, these are your cards. I just give you a little bit of an idea on how I like it, and then you can do it how you want it. So Martin has started the mammoth task of painting off garden fencing this afternoon. Good luck. And then he does the gates out the front, and then he does our deck. The deck is the vein of our life. Anybody know any cures for a deck that you don't really want to replace yet? Paul Martin paints it every year and it's a real labour of love. We stupidly went for a colour instead of a stain when we chose our decking. So it's the vein of our life and a job he hates doing, so bless him, he's tackling it already. So as I said, this doesn't have to be beautiful, and you'll see my other one. So I quite fancy doing a little bit of distress on this, but I don't know if that's going to work with what we're doing. You know, we'll show you. So that's one piece with just the faded jeans. This was the other piece I did, which is faded jeans and chipped sapphire. Hi Gay. And I distressed this with just by, if anybody hasn't seen this, literally I squirted some water onto my fingers and flicked it all over a piece of kitchen paper and soaked up the excess. That's all you do to get that distress look. So we're going to leave this one without distressing it, this one with distress, and we'll have a go when we put it all together. So I'm going to pop those two to one side. So now you've seen the sneak peek. We are going to now wipe this down, she says. Look how organised I am today. Not. That would have been the perfect opportunity to show you what I do with picking up the excess ink, wouldn't it? That was silly. Oh, both of you there today, Moira and Debbie. Hello. Those of you that are here joining us, for our commentary workshop, your supplies list will hopefully be out today or tomorrow. But if you are watching and I forget to put it on there, it says you need to bring a trimmer. If you have a large trimmer, I know they're a pain to carry to these events. Please bring the large trimmer. Right, so that's all dry. I'm just going to take some offcuts of my vellum that I have lying around because I don't throw any of those away. And we're going to stamp this flower up. So as I'm using the larger one, as you will know, majority of our flowers have 3 sizes. So I've used the larger one, but I think again this might be quite effective with the smaller one as well. In fact, if I can grab where I put my stamps, they're over here. We might do the smaller one, the medium one at the same time, and then we can decide. Maybe we'll mix it up and do a bit of both. So we've got the small and the medium. No, we haven't. We've got the large and the medium. These craft mats, Oakton Crafts, I'm sorry, I can't remember for the life of me what your first name is. Yes, we do still sell these craft mats. I didn't know if you meant these ones or if it was the Make Art Station, the magnetic craft mat that you sometimes see me using, which we do both. Hi Joan. Oh, Sarah, of course it is. As soon as you typed that, I remembered. It was due to rain here today as well, Sarah, to be honest. We've had a beautiful morning. It has clouded over a bit, so I'm hoping for my sanity and Martin's that it stays dry. Just until that paint's dried. Right. So, just do another couple of small ones. So we've stamped those out with Versamark, and I've said to you before, with the Versamark, you can go back in. We're going narrow there for some reason. You can go back in, you don't have to re-ink it. You get 2 or 3 out of it. Sarah, yes, we do still have them. I believe, I want to say they're $8.99. They're available on our website. If you go into the tools section, you'll find them in there. I couldn't be without this mat, to be fair. They're probably not great for the environment, but I'm not throwing it away, so I use it till it's... Right, so we have Versamark ink on here. You don't have to rush to get the embossing powder on the Versamark ink, particularly when it's on vellum, because it doesn't naturally dry on vellum. So how's everybody else's day been going? Hopefully you've had more fun than mine has been. It's just been one of those days. I think it's because I went to bed late last night. I got hooked into watching a silly program, which I probably shouldn't have done, and was late. I'll have to go and have a look at what you've been posting on your Facebook page. Right, so now we are going to heat this up. I normally tell you that I heat from underneath, and I'm going to do completely the opposite here. When I'm using vellum, I heat from on top, because particularly when I'm using it to do flowers, because it heats the embossing powder quicker, and I always hold the vellum in the air. So bear with me while I do this bit. do not be tempted to go back. If you can hear me, don't be tempted to go back and go over those flowers again, just to make sure that that powder has melted, because if you do that, you're liable to have your embossing powder crack off. Don't be tempted, just watch it, make sure each piece is done, and move on to the next flower. Well, lucky you that the sun's come out. I bet Liverpool is mad crazy at the moment, isn't it? I can't imagine how busy it must be. Right, so for those of you that don't know, I'm sure that aren't from the UK, we are hosting the Eurovision Song Contest in Liverpool this week. So I'm sure it's bonkers. So we have literally turned this over. So this is the embossed side. We're turning it over. And you don't have to completely cover every flower. You don't have to be particularly heavy with every flower. I've got lots of ink in places that I shouldn't have ink. Bear with me a minute. I just need to pick up this ink pad, because otherwise that ink's going to go a very long way, which is not good. We've had an awful lot of people contacting us and been watching us from overseas. So if you are from overseas, welcome. I know we have lots of different viewers every week. So one lady, bless her, emailed me, and she'd been up at 4:30 in the morning to watch me. So I had to explain to her that she didn't have to get up that early. She could watch us back afterwards, but I'm not sure if she's here or not today. But that's commitment, hey? So I'm not going to cut all of these out. I just wanted a couple of the smaller ones. Oh, Tracy, don't tell me the heavens have just opened. I really can't have more rain. Oh, check you out, you posh one. Going to the opening and the after party. You must know somebody in the know. Martin was a bit disappointed. We watched a little bit of it last night, and obviously Malta didn't make it through on the semi-finals, and that's, for those of you that don't know, that's where Martin's from. But so he was like, particularly as it's a small island, and it was the public vote this time, wasn't it? So yes, Sarah, it's Vellum. Sorry, I'm not sure if I mentioned that. I should have mentioned that a bit more clear. Yes, I have stamped and embossed onto Vellum. So I'm literally going in and fussy cutting around the edge of this stamp. I'm just going to do a few of the smaller ones because I might try it within the design, and I've only got some big ones made. So bear with me while I'm just quickly scribbling these, cutting these out as quick as I can. Sarah, you've asked about, is that normal card? It looks very, I think that's supposed to say glossy. I'm not sure if you meant the card that we inked, or if you meant the vellum that we stamped on. So if you can just let me know, I will hopefully answer that. How can you have forgotten us, Jan? Oh my goodness. Only just remembered. I'll forgive you this once. These scissors are my absolute most favourite pair of scissors I have ever owned in the world. And I had 2 pairs, and I'm on my last pair. You can't get them anymore. They were a Martha Stewart set, and so I don't know what I'll do when these go, but I do give my scissors a fair bashing, so I'm really looking after this pair. And I have been cutting out forever. I think one of the first things I ever did was cut out bits of paper, so I've been doing it a long time. There's a couple of little tricks to it. If you notice, my scissors don't often move space. It's the cardstock that I move. Occasionally I'll move the scissors around, but predominantly I will cut out just by moving the cardstock. Partly because I've got a sore shoulder, and partly because it works. Hopefully your order is on its way. Sorry, the light is bouncing, Joan. Hopefully your order should be on its way, and if it's not, it will be today. I know we had a couple that were delayed because our UK suppliers didn't add something into one of our orders, and it's arriving tomorrow. So if you haven't had a dispatch email yet, it may be that yours was one of those that has been slightly held up. Oh, Jan, toothache. Oh, I don't envy you. Oh, don't think that's one of the worst things, isn't it? Because you can't rub it better. Like if you've hurt your arm or you hurt your leg, you kind of rub it better without realising it, don't you? But toothache, you can't do anything about it. As I say, Sarah, I have been cutting for years. I used to cut up bits of newspaper and use it as my doll's food. And I would cut it into the smallest pieces. So I have been doing this for a very long time, and I apologise to everybody. This isn't the most exciting thing to watch me do, but this is the last one I needed to do, and then we should be able to start to put this together. Now I'm not going to over shape these today because I want quite a clean, simple card for this. Do you know what? Is that Kathy? Kathy, yes. Actually, the same thing happened to me. We had a delivery arrive literally 2 seconds as that was about to happen, and I was like, oh no. Because I know not everybody's a royalist, but I love the royal family. And so I said to Martin I was going to be sat and not move all day on Saturday. And I pretty much did do that. I was out and doing my shopping by about 7:30 in the morning. And I was home and done and put away by 9. So, here is what we're going to be doing. I'm glad it's on its way, Joe. We have our kebab stick, and rather than twist it all the way around like I normally do, I am just going to do it like you would. Do you remember how you used to strip ribbon and cut to curl it? That is all I'm doing with these. Then right on that circle I'm going to pop my nail in there, and I'm just going to bend that petal up towards it. And the same again. So literally just bending those up so that it gives it a little bit of shape, but it's not hugely full. Same again. I might have done all of these and decide I'm just going to stick with the big ones anyway. So we'll find out in a few minutes, won't we? So this is what I would call a little bit of winging it. I'm sure all of you that have seen me do the TV shows, I end up winging something. So we'll do. Why should Facebook and YouTube Live be any different, hey? So I know a few of you were struggling to find where to go back and look to watch videos. So if you haven't already received the email, we have moved them all into the video section out of the live as well, so you can see them in everywhere you turn now. Bless you, you're all going to get to see them. Sorry, my glue's got stuck up. So we're just going to pop a little bit of glue in the middle. Let's hope that these flowers behave themselves better than the last ones. Again, I'm only using 2 layers on this one because I want a clean, simple finish to this. Hi, Margaret. I'm going to pop that in the middle and just hang on to it for a minute. They didn't do anything in our village, Kathy. I was quite sad. There wasn't even many people that even bothered to put any bunting out. I did put my bunting out, and Martha was just laughing at me. He said, "What are you doing that for? Nobody else is." I said, "I don't have to do it because everybody else is or isn't." You can do whatever you want, Teresa, on gold embossing powder on this. This would make a really nice, like, golden wedding anniversary card or something. So yeah, it would work really, really nicely. So they are our 2 flowers, literally 2 layers stuck together. As I said, I've got lots of the larger sizes already made, so I don't know which size I'm going to go with yet. We will find out in a few moments. So that's the flowers done. We've now gone back to this white piece of paper that we need it to stay white, so make sure there's no blue anywhere, or whatever colour you're using. And my jumper now may have some blue stripes even. So you're going to take a trimmer, and halfway through, so on a 7 1/2, we're at 3 3/4. You're just going to cut this down about 1/3 of the way ish. It's entirely up to you how you do it. Maybe I'm just slightly over 1/3, maybe nearer a half on that. Oh well. And you are going to then need a paintbrush, which I've had out all day, and I've obviously been really clever and put away. There we go. I've gone for a slightly chunkier one. Don't go with, because we're going to curl this, and if I go with this, it's going to be too tight. If I went with a pen, it's too wide. So the paintbrush thickness tends to be about right for what we're going to be doing. So we're going to go from the middle here. We're going to wrap this around your paintbrush. Once you've got the kind of basic shape there, you can manipulate this to go where you want it to go, really. It doesn't have to stay where you've put it. If you want to bring it further round, you can. Further in that way, you can. I just want that curl on there. And obviously try not to rip this centre. Pop your finger there. I'm not sure if it's been discontinued or not, Sarah. It's not a stamping platform that I've heard many people have used. I mean, lots have them. It's not one I see that often on the workshops and things either, so I'm not sure if it's around anymore or not. We will have to investigate. So that's that piece done. So we're going to layer that on top. So remember what I said. You don't have to use it. You can use it. You don't have to use it. The piece that we blended is to line up underneath here. So that's with just the faded jeans. And this is with the distressed chipped sapphire and faded jeans. So answers on a postcard. Let me know what you think. We're going to pop it to those bits to one side for a moment because we need to just do a couple of other things. We need to pop a sentiment on here before we start putting everything together. Now I am going to, oh, and also I haven't mentioned this. See, I told you I'm just having one of those days. Don't forget you need to do leaves and foliage, which is what the twisted citron was for. Do it exactly the same way as you did. We'll do a few here really quickly just to show you what I mean. jumping back and forth a bit. Sorry, that wasn't very good of me, was it? So we'll ink that stamp up. I keep all the vellum off cut. Okay, so posting this would have to go in a box, Sarah. Faded jeans, Teresa, I'm with you. I think I'm just going to go with the faded jeans. I think that blue is too harsh. That just chipped sapphire is too harsh. It is a box card. Definitely is a box card. But I think once you've added flowers to any card of any dimension, it's going to go in a box anyway, Sarah. So it is just one of those things. Heat tool. It's so much nicer to have somebody to talk to and be able to see everybody's comments when we're doing Facebook Lives. So much easier. Otherwise I'm just talking to myself and there's nowhere near as much fun. So again, I heated from the top. I agree, Maria, it is therapeutic. So we've turned that over. I'm going to take Twisted Citron. And just scribble on the back. And then again, just quickly cut out a couple of these. Now, there is more to life than cutting out every single part of something. If you want to make it absolutely perfect, you can't see it, blah, 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 you can go back in and cut every single piece out if you want to. I'm not saying you can't. I won't be. Sometimes I do. Those of you coming on our workshop will be cutting something similar within an inch of its life. Those of you that are watching that have been on the workshop, don't tell them. It's a secret. So we're just going to quickly squiggle around these. As you can see, it is so much easier to cut out if it's the paper that you're moving and not the scissors. But this particular card, it doesn't matter. You're not going to look really, really closely. You could stamp it onto heat resistant acetate if you wanted to, and then you just have to cut around the edges. Just sort of do a close, tight cut, if that makes sense. So if you did it onto heat resistant acetate, you'd just sort of do the main outline. But obviously I've done it onto vellum and I wanted a little bit more detail coming through there. So that's what you would do for your foliage. So I think the consensus was with me and that we were just going to go with the faded jeans. Before we do that, we need, well, the consensus. It was me and Teresa that decided. So pop a sentiment on here. Now the sentiment I am going to use is, as I said, from our Say Hello stamp set, and it reads, oh, I've got embossing powder on the back of that now. Oh dearie me. Do you sometimes think you shouldn't have bothered getting up in the morning? That's me today. So this sentiment reads, just because I was thinking about you. Which I think this would be a really nice little card to get in the post to say that. Now I'm going to do this with white embossing powder because I want that clean finish. Or should I do it with faded jeans? You know what, we'll do it with faded jeans just so it stands out while I'm doing this. So I've put that little trick of mine. I've popped the Versamark ink on the stamp first, and then I have inked up the stamp. I'm going to go quite low with this sentiment because I haven't decided what I'm doing with the flowers. It's positioning those completely yet. So until we know what I'm doing with that, that would probably be a good idea. So we've popped just because I was thinking about you. If you are not hugely confident, don't want to stamp directly onto your card, just do yourself a little topper. Make yourself up a little sentiment card to stick on the top. So we better start. We haven't done the inside of the card. Remember, we always do the inside of our cards to finish them off. And the inside of this one is going to read, I just wanted to say hello. So we've got, just because I was thinking about you, I just wanted to say hello. This stamp hasn't been cleaned yet, so we'll just quickly rub that black off because it may go a bit further than we want it to. Quick dry. Now I don't know if you watched, try and put some blue on there too, Amanda. If you watched me do one a couple of weeks ago with Fleur stamp set, we used very similar colours. And I'm going to do the same on the inside of this card as I did on that one. So there's our sentiment. I'm going to take our flower. Ink it up. I think we'll just go in there. And because I've kind of, yeah, we will put them both on. I'm going to go off the page a bit. And that's just literally where I positioned them, just to stamp out multiples at the same time. So they weren't in any particular place. You can't see it yet, I know, I promise you will. Some white embossing powder on there. Give that a good flick to take the excess off. We're going to heat that from underneath. It will take a little bit longer to heat this one from underneath because it's on your card base, which is a much heavier weight cardstock than the normal cardstock we use. I know you still can't really see it. It is coming, I promise. And then I'm just going to take my blending brush and I'm just going to lightly brush over the top of those two stamps that we've just stamped out. I might take that along the corner a little bit more on this side. There's nothing there, but just to add the detail. And then I'll just buff those off so that the white shows through. Oh, sorry, that was a bit harsh. There you go. So it's really subtle. Whenever I say take it through, it doesn't have to really stand out. I might go a little bit harsher on there than that. Doesn't have to be really in your face. It's just to bring the whole card together. There we go. I don't know who YouTube user is. It came up as YouTube user. I hope you like. I'm glad you like the flowers. Right, so let's put this little beast together and decide what we're going to do. So, first layer is just that piece that we've gone all the way around the edge. If you wanted to keep this super clean and simple, you could just leave it with this layer and pop this one over the top. And that is super clean and simple. Or you can pop this layer in, which is what I'm going to do. But what I'm actually going to do is my mind's eye. I'm going to stick it onto the back of this. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue here. Not going to go crazy. Take a little bit down there. Because I want these two pieces to line up. And then we'll stick that down. Now this piece needs to be stuck. See what I mean by trying to keep that white piece out of the way? Look how dirty that back bit got. I know I started up here and we changed it over, but this is just from the residue that was on this mat from what we were doing. So keep that extra white piece. If you want it to be white, keep it away. So we've got our cards and our curls. And then it's up to you how you position your flowers. I was going all the way around the edge, like this, which I think looks quite nice. But I'm thinking maybe we'll go in with the smaller one. What do we think? Larger or smaller? I don't know. I'm thinking the larger. All large. See, I told you it would probably be a waste of time what I was doing. So, as I said before, you've cut your leaves out. Don't forget to pop a little bit of detail on those. So, literally, like you would do your ribbons, for curling ribbon, I've done exactly the same. Just remember that not all leaves fall the same way. So we'll stick these on first, where I want them to be. And this is great if you did manage to rip that section in the middle there, you can hide it with your flowers. And it's such a pretty little stamp, this one, Spring Flowers it's called. I think it gets forgotten about sometimes, but I think it's a really pretty little card. Little flower set, sorry, stamp set. Really simple. And then we're just going to go in and pop in some foliage, so the leaves in here. And don't be afraid, if you wanted to, you can mix and match the different stamps together. You could use a different flowers on here, not all the same. It would look quite cool. So you're just going in and randomly positioning the leaves where you are happy with them to be. Again, no right or wrong. Just remember to try and keep this, obviously because of its height, needs to go in a box, but you need to keep within the parameters of the card when you're putting the foliage and stuff on. So just remember that little trick when you're putting this card together. And you may notice I do top and bottom of my foliage stems, because I try to do it so that it will grip top and bottom, keep it in there, and then the rest of the petal, the leaves, stays free. So it's just that little stem inside that will catch, so I give it the best chance it's got. Shape on there. So as I said, today unfortunately I was winging it a little bit, but hopefully you all kind of like what we've come up with. And then we just need to pop some gems in the centre. Now, are we going to go with pearls or are we going to go with gems? Sparkly or pearly? Sparkly, I think. No, pearls. Oh, bless you. Thank you very much. Is that Debbie? Sorry, the light's bouncing off. It's not going to be pearls because I'm going to fight that one the whole way. We're going sparkly. We'll pop a sparkly gem in the middle of each one of these. There we go. I was even fighting with those ones today. That might be quite nice. We'll see. It might look awful. I might regret doing this. We'll see in a minute. If it doesn't look good, we don't put it on. Just to pop a few little gems on that top corner. What are we thinking? With or without? Without. No, we're not doing it. So, that is our finished card today. As I said, we were winging it a little bit. But you know what? Sometimes it's nice to just wing it. So that is us finished. So just because I was thinking about you, I just wanted to say hello. And how nice would it be? We don't get send cards just for no reason anymore. And I think we need to get back to doing that. You could pop a little note in there or whatever you fancy doing. So let's have a quick rundown on what we used in the end. Just because between you and me, I don't think any of us really worked it out. Right, so we used Twisted Citron and Faded Jeans. Thank you, Alison. We've used white embossing powder. Obviously, we've used our blending brushes. Right, let's see if we can do this. We've used our sticky glue, which comes in the 2 sizes. And I pretty much did the same, to be fair. Right, so we've used the sticky glue. Sorry, I was reading Anne's comment. Obviously, we've used the blending brushes, which come in the 2 sizes. We've used Versamark ink. We have used the... I need to put the card out of the way, look. We used the Honeydew Craft Vellum for making flowers, and our super smooth cardstock in 250 or 300 GSM, whichever you're happy using. Bye, Anne. Have a nice afternoon. And then we've used spring flowers, and we used the sentiments from our Say Hello stamp set, which was just because I was thinking about you. I just wanted to say hello. So hopefully you've all enjoyed that. And that is our finished card. I will post a picture of this up as well so that you can see it. Everything is available on our website. Are you going to come back to me? There we go. That's the button I wanted, and that one up there. So everything's available over on our website. We have obviously got our Facebook, which shows you all the pictures. Is that Kathy? You've got to give it a go, Kathy. We will be back next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more organised by next Wednesday. And but between now and then we have the Excalibur Papercraft Show at the Motorcycle Museum, just the opposite side of the roundabout to the NEC, Birmingham area. On Saturday, that's from 10 till 3. Next week, we are in Lincoln, going back to the Lincoln Show, at the Lincoln Showground, with Craftorama. And the following week we have our workshop in Coventry. And then I can't think where we are after that. The end of the month, we're somewhere, I can't remember. It's such a busy month. So hopefully we'll catch up with lots of you there. If you do come, make sure you come and say hello to us. Glad you've all enjoyed the card. We will just pop back to that picture so that you can see. As I've said to you before, if there's anything you'd particularly like to see made or having problems with, or would like to have a go at something, please email us at honeydewcrafts@gmail.com. We can then have a look and see if we can try and do what you're after. Sue, I'm not at Lee. Unfortunately, Lee is on a Saturday this time, and it normally is on a Sunday, and it clashes with our Coventry workshop, so we won't be there. But hopefully you'll have a lovely show. As I say, Facebook has as much information as we can do on there. If anybody's got any questions, please post on there. If not, we will... I'm talking to a piece of paper, so I'll talk to you now. If not, we will see you again next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Have a lovely afternoon and enjoy your weekend. Take care.